So our challenge exercise, if you go ahead and move on down, is to basically move the blinking algorithm into the game class, right? And so task 18 is just kind of prepping you to make sure we're all on the same page, and if you have no idea how that would get done, to give you a good idea. So if we're looking here, we're in main. We do have our run object created. You can see here that I haven't really adjusted my code, but your code should have object here, text object here, along with these variables removed, right? Because they are all created in the game class constructor. And then when we come on down into the intro, this is the algorithm that that makes the text blink, right? And so this would be a good piece of code to move into the game class, because it's something that's going to happen here in the intro, and it's also something that's going to happen in the outro, and it could happen basically anywhere, right? Like if you're playing a game, like a 2D game, and it's like maybe two-player, and then one player is still alive, but two-player maybe has been destroyed, then at the top it usually says like insert coin, and it blinks, right? So that would be like another place where you might use this algorithm. So since it's used in different places, it'd be a good place to just make a class for it. I mean, a method for it. So what makes the most sense for me is not to create a blink class. Well, this is one way you could do it. You can create a blink class. We don't need that because we have access to time in the blink update in the blink method in the game class. We don't need any of this data because that's just hard-coded. We would need the screen because that's local, right? And a screen would be a part of the run object. So we could pass in the run object, and we would need these pieces of data, right? So the subtitles image and the subtitles rect. So if we had a subtitle object, we could just go ahead and pass it run and the subtitle object, and then in blink we would take that information and we would basically just do this, right? And so we would replace this with this, and this while loop is running. It's iterating. It's like going like 60 times a second, because that's what we set here for FPS. And every time it runs, it's gonna basically check this and either blitz something onto the screen or not blitz something onto the screen, right? And that would be one way to do it. Another way to do it would be to create a blink method in the game class and have it be a Boolean method, meaning that it returns either true or false. And what blink could do is it could basically do this, right? And so have an if statement that has this condition, and if that's true, return true. If that's false, return false. And if we had a blink method that was built that way, we could just say if blink right here. Alright, so if this guy returns true, then we'll blit to the screen. If this guy returns false, then we won't blit to the screen. So those are two ways you could do it. Of course, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, and if you think of another way, by all means, go ahead and implement. This is all about the way that your brain thinks, and we all think differently. So go at it.